Chair would like to call to order the Village of Lake Barrington Board of Trustees meeting for Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025, and it is 7:07 p.m. Sorry for a little bit of delay. We've got a lot of things happening, exciting things happening. We need to be prepared to do so. With that said, would the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Brainerd.
Here.
Trustee Hayes.
Here.
Trustee Perkins.
Here.
Trustee Scheller.
Here.
Trustee Schammoser.
Here.
Trustee Van Ryn.
Here.
President Burke.
Here, thank you. Would you all please rise and join me in the saying of our pledge of allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. First order of business, item 4, is approval of minutes. Are there any questions or comments for the clerk for the minutes from the August 5th, 2025 Board of Trustees meeting? If there are no comments, then the chair would like a motion to approve the minutes from the Board of Trustees meeting dated August 5th, 2025. Do I have such a motion? So moved by Trustee Scheller. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Brainerd. Thank you. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Brainerd.
Here.
Trustee Hayes.
Yes.
Trustee Perkins.
Yes.
Trustee Scheller.
Yes.
Trustee Schammoser.
Yes.
Trustee Van Ryn.
Yes.
And President Burke.
Yes, thank you. Under President's remarks, that I think the team is always working hard to ensure that I don't actually have time for any real remarks. So we fill up with all kinds of fun and exciting things. And the first order of business that I'd like to take care of today is a proclamation in honor of Mark Jesch, who is a former plan commissioner who was with us for 18 years, who has recently stepped down from the Planning Commission after serving very well. So at this point, I would like to take the opportunity to read this proclamation, and then it will be adopted by the board after so. So a proclamation honoring Mark Jesch. Whereas Mark Jesch has served as a member of the Planning Commission Zoning Board of Appeals from June 2008 through August 2025. And whereas Mark Jesch was a proponent of maintaining open space and conservation land in Lake Barrington. And whereas Mark Jesch actively championed for the adoption of the village's tree preservation ordinance. And whereas Mark Jesch was crucial in the creation of the commercial building and landscape design standards for Lake Barrington. And whereas Mark Jesch played a key role in developing the design features related to the special use permit for the Speedway Plan Unit development at the corner of US Route 14 and Kelsey Road, keeping in mind that architectural design, open space, lighting, stormwater, environmental protections, and noise were a major concern for the surrounding residents. And whereas Mark Jesch significantly contributed to the successful adoption of the 2018 Comprehensive Plan. And whereas Mark Jesch supported the amendment of the zoning ordinance to permit beekeeping and apiaries. And whereas the President and Board of Trustees of the Village of Lake Barrington desire to acknowledge the time and expertise so generously given by Mark, and to thank him for his outstanding public service to the community and all its residents, past, present, and future. And therefore, be it resolved by the President and Board of Trustees of the Village of Lake Barrington, Lake County, Illinois, the Village of Lake Barrington expresses its deep appreciation to Mark Jesch for his dedicated and exemplary service to the community. At this point, I'd like the clerk to call the roll for the approval of this proclamation.
Trustee Brainerd.
Yes.
Trustee Hayes.
Yes.
Trustee Perkins.
Yes.
Trustee Scheller.
Yes.
Trustee Schammoser.
Yes.
Trustee Van Ryn.
Yes.
And President Burke.
Yes, thank you. I can say that Mark could not be with us tonight. He's aware of the proclamation. We'll be presenting him with this at a later date. And as modest as he is, he said he didn't need to come and personally be recognized, but he appreciates that the board took the time to do so. So thanks again to Mark. And I did ask Mark at one point what was the highlight of his 18-year career, and he said the opportunity to work on the Speedway project. He said, wow, did he learn a lot. As did we all. Well said, Mark. thank you very much for that. Next, I understand that we have in the back of the room with us two distinguished residents of the village of Lake Barrington, Francine and Paul McHugh, way in the back. Hi. You may not know them, but you know of them because they are responsible for the beautiful new barn quilt that we have on the side of our barn that is beautifully displayed and very visible from Kelsey Road. So thank you, thank you, thank you. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing to have, and more special than ever that it came from residents. Do you have any interest in coming up and saying anything about this tonight, or?
I don't want to take up the board's valuable time. I'll just say,
Come up to the microphone, please, just for 1 minute. We want to meet you, they want to meet you, and we want to be able to say hello and thank you in person. So if you would hit the little red button there to speak into the microphone.
sure.
And a black button right in the middle should turn red. Right, the big one in the middle. There you go, now you're on.
You're live.
You're live. You're being broadcast by satellite to millions of people right now.
I'm glad you appreciate the barn quilt. The barn quilt movement, as you may or may not know, is emanated in Europe, but it's very popular in rural areas in the eastern part of the country, and also if you go to Iowa and places like that. It enhances the appearance of the barn, also represents an identification for people who want to know where the owner is, and in the early days was a signal for the slaves in the Underground Railroad, identified those farms where they could come. Prior to this time, I had made about 40 or 50 little 2x2 barn quilts that my neighbors hang on their fences and things around. And I decided, asking my wife, going past the barn on the farm, that would be very nice to have a barn quilt there. So I worked on it, and these nice ladies were very helpful to bring it along. So I'm glad when you go by, you can appreciate what it is. So that's all.
Well, it's very wonderful. It's very wonderful. I also understand that there's some symbolism inside some of these barn quilts. Is that correct? I mean, the designs, does our design have any unique meaning?
That design is a sunflower.
A sunflower.
And there are many designs of birds, a lot of hex symbols. Early superstition was that the hex symbol would prevent harm from coming to the farm, the animals and the crop. And you put the symbol up there. So it even goes back to the early Middle Ages. So what you're looking at is something that has a long trail of history.
Well, we're thrilled to have it. As you know, in our beautiful new logo, we have a cone flower. So we're all about the flowers here, and the birds, and the bees. So we really...
Not to interrupt, but I think it was you or someone who said make the village colors part of the sunflower, the blue and the gold. So I did. I incorporated that.
I can't take credit for anything artistic, so but thank you. Thank you for being with us tonight. Very much we appreciate it, Paul and Francine. I know you're back there supporting this guy, so thank you for that as well. Thanks for being with us tonight. We appreciate you. One other little surprise shout out that I have is for Rebecca Harrington, our clerk, who some of you may know, some of you may not know that she used to be wed on September the 27th. And so we will not meet again before then. So I want to take this time on myself, on behalf of the entire board and everyone, to wish you the very, very best. Have a wonderful, beautiful day, and we'll look forward to seeing you. Hopefully you choose to come back after all that and continue to be our wonderful clerk, but we want to make sure that our thoughts are with you on that day, and we're very excited for you. So, yes. Okay, so that was fun. We're having fun now. We don't always get to do that here, so. The next item, 6, opportunity for the public to address the board on agenda items. I don't see that there is anyone here who would like to do so. So we're moving right along to the consent agenda, which is agenda item 7. So tonight on the consent agenda, we have a number of items reimbursement to Lake Barrington Steakhouse in the amount of $20,000 for their electronic monument sign utilizing the village's economic incentive funds. Item B, consideration of a temporary use special event for Pepper Park Fest on Saturday, September 20th. C, consideration of an application for a temporary use special event for Lake Barrington's annual Barn Stomp and Brews. D, consideration of a Class K liquor license for KRH Unlimited, aka the Kelsey Roadhouse, for the Barn Stomp and Brews event on October 4th. E, MCI Institute and Academy, F, consideration of a resolution appointing a new alternate to SWALCO, and that's it. Before we move these, take these to move them to a vote in block, are there any other questions or comments about any of these items on the consent agenda? If not, the chair would like a motion to move in block items 7A through F as stated in the recommended action of the consent agenda. Do I have such a motion, please? So moved by Trustee Shaw Moser. Seconded by Trustee Van Ryan. Thank you. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Brainerd. Aye. Trustee Hayes.
Yes.
Trustee Perkins.
Yes.
Trustee Schauer.
Yes.
Trustee Schauer.
Yes.
Trustee Van Ryn.
Yes.
And Trustee Burke.
Yes, thank you very much. And before we move to the treasurer's report, which is the next item on here, I see that we have Mr. Sean McHugh out here in the audience with us, and who is one of the owner partners in Lake Barrington Steakhouse. So, since you're here, Sean, would you please come up, turn that microphone on, and reintroduce yourself to this board, and just tell us a little bit about the exciting things that are going on at the Lake Barrington Steakhouse these days.
Sure. Thank you, President. Appreciate it. Congratulations again. My name is Sean McHugh. I'm one of the partners over at the Lake Barrington Steakhouse. And we quietly opened in December. And we did so because we're dealing with USDA prime steaks and so forth. So we wanted to make sure that we didn't publicize it, and we wanted to make sure that we can, get all the kinks out, before we really turned everything on. And the sign was such an integral part, and it has done everything that we envisioned it would. The first day that the sign went actually live, we had customers that were just walking in. It was like, we had no idea that anything was even here. So it brought the attention to the whole little local community over there, because now people are, paying attention. And it was such a refreshing, thing to hear. And by opening quietly as we did, it gave us enough time to, get our footing and, put out a great product and, something that the community is going to be proud of it. We're very proud of it too as well. We can't thank the village enough for all the support, and it was, I read about y'all and so forth. So when somebody comes in and talk about the sign and so forth, and it was really, the property was missing, and we really appreciate all the support. We're happy to be here, that's for sure.
Thank you, Sean. Let's just go around the dais for a minute, see if either people have comments or questions for you. While you're here, we have the opportunity to do so. Starting with Trustee Shaw Moser.
Thanks, Sean, for coming in. I've been there once, and it's just wonderful. One person many times, and we're just delighted that you're here. And really, our anchor, top-end restaurant. So we're very excited. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Sean, it's great to see you again. Thank
You
you
as
for
well.
being here.
Yeah, thank you.
How community-minded you and your business partners are.
Yes.
And something that's on the top of our minds is if you'd be open to a allowing the sign to not only showcase your restaurant and the nearby businesses, but things happening within our community as well.
Yes, absolutely, 100%, 100%, yeah. All you would have to do is just send me a quick little email, send it to our graphic person, and just tell me the dates that you would like it to appear, and we'll get it out there, absolutely. And we have also reached out to our other tenants that are within our little community too as well. They're working on, we want to promote their business as well. And we've heard some positive feedback that there was some new business that they're obtaining too by the sign being active. So we're trying to promote everybody to create a nice little synergy. We want our customers to be their customers and vice versa. So it's always it's a nice partnership.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So nice to have you here. My name is Brenda Brainerd. I'm actually new to the trustee board, but I made a point to driving by the sign because I'm new to the area too, and it is impressive. Can't miss it, which is what the whole point is.
Yes.
But I've heard really good things about your restaurant. I have friends who've been there. I have not had a chance to yet, but I'm glad that you're also going ahead and supporting the community around you, because that's so important. So thank you for everything you're doing.
Yeah, thank you as well. Appreciate it.
Thank you, President. I've heard great reviews, both online and everything else.
Thank you.
So give me a 60-second commercial about the Lake Barrington Steakhouse that we can broadcast to the world.
Sure, absolutely. 60-second commercial. The Lake Barrington Steakhouse, we pride ourselves on signature cocktails along with USDA prime steaks. And our partner Ron Perkins happens to be worked for Michael Jordan's race team Jump 23s for about 11 years. And he worked closely with Michael Jordan with the race team. He appeared also on Jay Leno, and Jay Leno wanted to do a cookbook with them because when the race team appeared on the Jay Leno show, Jay Leno asked him, said, "Hey, would you like to cook for the staff here?" And Michael Jordan raves about you, and he did. And that's when Ron was presented with the opportunity to do a cookbook with Jay Leno. But the cookbook never came to fruition because it was basically Jordan was like, "Hey, you're working with us right now." And after that would be another opportunity in the future. But 11 years went by really quick, and it sort of got put on the back burner. So you're published it. Yeah, and last thing too as well, Ron, his daughter is an accomplished artist, so all the paintings that you'll see throughout the restaurant are painted by his daughter, who is attending art school this fall right now. Yeah, so very unique synergy. Walking.
Very good. Well, you're certainly a welcome addition to our small little village. Probably the highlight restaurant. There are a few others, but as far as top steaks, you're it. So thank you very much for being part of our village.
And thank you so much. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, it's nice to see you again, Sean.
You as well.
I'm so happy that the restaurant's open and rolling. I haven't had the opportunity to come by yet. I keep saying, okay, it's going to slow down, it's going to slow down. School started, it's going to slow down. But my husband and I, every time we drive, we're like, so we'll do that. But I'm so happy to hear that things are going so well.
Yes.
You're a great addition. It's
Well,
amazing.
thank you.
And I love that you are supporting the daughter of your manager.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's
Absolutely.
amazing.
Yes, absolutely.
You got a good wine list?
We do. Yes, we actually do. We have a mixture of some good California wines and so forth.
Yeah,
as well.
awesome,
So,
awesome.
yeah.
All right, well, we'll be in soon.
All right, fantastic.
Thanks.
Good to see you.
Sean, good to see you
Yeah,
And Ron, it's kind of fun, is you go to restaurants, it's very rare for the guy cooking a meal to come out, leading the team cooking the meal.
yeah,
And he's come out every time that I've been there, that he's been there.
yeah.
So, no, it's a really good food, really enjoy it. Mine's good. Been with Kevin and Andy, post-election, right? But it's a great place to go, and if you haven't gone, go, it's a nice place to have a good evening. So you guys did a great job. I love the fact that you did want to do the sign. That's your first view of Lake Barrington, is that sign, when you're coming from the northwest. And likewise, when they're going northwest, past the sign, you're leaving Lake Barrington, so it needs to, Peter's point, Teresa needs to turn around, stop, and go back. But no, it's important, and you know, I'll say it this way, I knew nothing of Lake Barrington. I grew up in Wilmette, lived in Buffalo Grove for 20 years, but I never heard of this place until one Sunday, the realtor, when we were moving back to the area, took us to Lake Barrington Shores.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what a great place it is. Interesting, the consultants came in last week, never been there, they thought, wow, this place is amazing. You're the tip of the spear of an amazing town, and I wish you all the best, but that sign really can have an impact, obviously, for you guys, your tenants in your building, but then also for the village, and I think that's a great thing. So I know we just voted on, I have this little thing here that we're going to get to, so stick around. And I'm really glad you guys are here, and thanks for being a good partner in this.
Thank you, appreciate the kind words. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm sorry, one more thing. Sorry. You know what, we're gonna take you up on that offer of community events.
Yeah.
We have our annual Barrington and Bruce coming up, and Rebecca will fix you, she'll send you an email.
Fantastic.
Very soon.
Actually, Rebecca and I communicate quite
I
often.
bet you do, she does everything, she's
Yes.
the backbone, she's the backbone of this whole thing here, so.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. She does a great job. Anything I've ever needed or any questions, and it's just, I really appreciate you. And congratulations on the wedding coming up.
Just make sure you renew that business license, Sean.
Yeah.
Then you will be knocking on your door.
Oh, yeah.
Fire inspection too.
Yes.
So the sign is amazing, and people are definitely seeing it. But I have to tell you, it's not even close to the biggest sign promoting Lake Barrington in our village that we have. That would be our water tower with our beautiful new logo on it. That's been in place for how long now?
Almost 4 years.
That's amazing. And so that's another thing that puts us on a map. People see that and they're like, oh my gosh, there's Lake Barrington and their beautiful new logo up there. So I was telling this group, Sean, that you and I had met long before you established the restaurant, and you had said to me how important it was to have a great working relationship, you know, with the village that you were going to do business in. And that was music to our ears. And it has been nothing but that. I think you can tell from the conversation that's taken place here that there's some mutual respect and admiration and cooperation and recognizing, you know, the rising tide raises all the boats, and that's the goal. We're all trying to get better together, promote together, and encourage people to do this. Now, I have single-handedly dragged people around this dais into that restaurant, and I've been dragged in there by the former mayor, as you know. So we'll get everybody in there. By the way, Mark's Pub and Bruce is lead sponsor is one of your tenants, DB. So for the second year in a row, they are our lead sponsor, which is we're very grateful to them for. And they're a big supporter of us, and we of them as well. So you've got a really nice group. You may not know that over here, our videographer has a connection to Venta.
Yes.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is what small town politics are all about. You know everybody, and everybody knows you, and there's no getting away from it. So,
Absolutely.
we're a tight-knit community, so this is what makes it fun. So I would say, in addition to the steakhouse, thank you. You know, Sean and his partners own that whole retail center, right? Sean, the retail center, and I've heard nothing but great things from your tenants as well in terms of you're paying attention to the things that need to be done and continuing to do maintenance and the other things. And this sign promotes their businesses as well, extremely well. So I think they're really excited to be in there, and their businesses have to being helped, being the benefit as well from now being able to see, have some visibility along the road. So we appreciate your partnership, and we appreciate you being here tonight. So stick around, and I invite you to listen intently to Treasurer Hirsch's report, Treasurer's report, because it's stimulating. And then after that, if the board approves again, you'll be leaving here with a check tonight.
Fair enough. Thank you, Chris, we
Yeah.
appreciate it. And thank you all. We really appreciate it. We really do. And it's been a great partnership, and thank you.
Thank you, Sean. We appreciate you as well.
All right, thank you.
Okay, next item, item 8. Without further delay, the treasurer's report.
Drum roll, please.
Drum roll, please.
Okay, it's really not that exciting. Especially since we're only reporting on the first quarter. So you have the financial statements for the 3 months ended July 31st. So we're just through a quarter of the year, so not too much to talk about, but I will go through the report. So for the benefit of some of our newer trustees, so what I typically do is on the second page, it's called the flash report, and that is all the highlights. And I typically work through that first, just so you kind of follow. And I usually use my page numbers, but I realize they might be different because I don't have the whole packet here. Anyway, so let's start out. So our assets at the end of July 31st are $3,650,000. Our current liabilities are $404,000, and our equity is $3,246,000. You can see for the 3 months, our revenues are at $1,344,000. Our expenses are $1,063,000, giving us net income of $281,000. You can see at this point last year, we had $81,000 in income. So what we do to kind of compare apples to apples, we pull out what we'll call extraordinary items from year to year, just so we can see how we're doing on a regular sort of operations basis. So we pull those items out down below, and our regular operation of income for 2000 fiscal year, it's actually fiscal year 26, but it's through July 31st, 2025, is $601,000, and that's compared to this point last year of $444,000. So that's about a $160,000 difference. There's some items that go back and forth. The biggest one, you probably hear it all year long, is the sales tax. Sales tax is up substantially from last year. Since January 1st of 2025, when the new sales tax law took effect, we have taken in an almost like $155,000 addition, 155,000 additional sales tax dollars, online sales tax. That's just in 3 months. So the corollary is we lose some use tax for that, but our use tax for those 3 months is down about $37,000. In fact, our whole year budget of use tax is only $99,000. We've already exceeded that. We're going to potentially do a little bit of shortfall there. So it's just this ongoing, and it's all from online sales tax of pharmaceuticals. So it's really, it's like something I don't think anyone has imagined. The IML, first was the one that gave us budget numbers for use tax, and that was $100,000. And they're going, whoa, 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 it's about $10,000 now is what they're saying. I mean, they were surprised by this big change as well from what we'll call use tax to the sales tax. So it's worked out, and plus, it's worked out well for us. So anyway, we will now just move to page 12, which we do this quarterly. This started years ago. We had some questions from the trustees about how our non-MFT roadwork money was being spent and who we were spending it with. So we do this quarterly now, so you'll see on page 12. Most of our maintenance dollars go to Cuba Township. We've given $40,763,000 towards our monthly contract, and then there's been $16,220 for what we'll call just sort of little work that's done. You can see it's curb patching, culvert replacements. It's typically mostly culvert replacements, and then some little amounts coming through for Lake County Treasurer, State Treasurer, and then we did have a culvert refund that was approved by the board for $1,900. So anyways, that's just quarterly. We would look at that. There's nothing really that sticks out. If anyone has any questions on how those dollars are being spent, I'm happy to go through that. The next thing to look at is our budget to actual report. So this tells us how we're doing compared to what we were expecting, how we're going to be doing. And our revenues are 36% 36% budget to actual, which sounds high for given that we're just through a quarter. Well, part of that I just mentioned is real estate tax, sales tax. But we also at this point start collecting revenue items that are for the whole year. For instance, we've collected half our real estate taxes. You know, it's like kind of residential, you pay real estate tax twice a year, so you pay one of the installments, so you've received half of that. Road and bridge tax, all those are starting to come in a little bit sooner. Our business licenses are all collected up front, so we have 100% of that revenue collected. So those liquor licenses and food licenses, so those see that percentage a little bit. It does even out by the end of the year. There's nothing other than the sales tax that's like, oh wow, it's really, worth mentioning, that's different from other years. Page 14, you can see our expenditures at 31% actual to budget. That's trending a little high for a quarter, but still it's not concerning. We've done all our property interior maintenance. You can see all our painting, all our items are being taken care of in the interior of the building. We've done some IT and communications work, so that's been paid up front a little bit. And then our Bay Cottage, we paid half of those for the year. So it pulls the percentage up a little bit, but there's nothing on here that I would say is concerning at this point in the year. But if there's questions, happy to answer any questions. If someone sees an item that's sort of sticking out and they would like some explanation, I'm happy to go through that as well. If not, I'll move on. We'll just keep going on. The next one we'll discuss is page 15.
I have maybe a question.
Sure.
And I don't know the reason, but I thought about this. So I've seen this big increase in the tax, right, revenue related to pharmaceutical sales. Is that tax on the, so let's say a drug costs $150, and that's the retailer that is out there. Insurance pays, most people have health insurance, pays for part of it, and then the individual like myself who has insurance will have a portion of that bill. But the tax is on the holistic cost of the drug.
I imagine it is, yes.
Can you look into that and verify that? Because that might
Yeah.
explain, because that's a lot.
Yeah,
I hate to say it, it's a lot of drugs.
right. No,
To have that kind of revenue, and maybe that's what's driving it.
It's the full cost, not
And residents aren't feeling the pain, but the insurance company's got to be paying that tax too, really, because they're paying a large part of the drug cost.
Right.
Again, so I'm curious about that, that's all.
Yeah, and interesting enough, Illinois is one of the very few taxes that actually charges medical pharmaceuticals. And that, as I mentioned to a couple of trustees, that was kind of the same as the grocery tax, it's just 1%. The purchaser pays 1%, and that goes straight to the municipality. So I'm sort of keeping an eye out to make sure that Governor Pritzker doesn't decide to also pull that back, as we pull back the grocery tax. So that would be a big number for us. And it's being challenged in the courts because brick and mortar stores are being handled differently than online retailers, being challenged in the courts. So it's here to stay for a little bit. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in the next 45 years. I don't know if you have any insight on that, Trustee or Attorney Bateman. I don't put you on the spot.
No, I'm not sure I think that the state will prevail in the litigation.
Oh, good. Okay. No. Okay. Did I answer your question? All right, well, I can get back to you.
Yeah, that's fine, but I thought about it as you were presenting that,
Yeah.
thinking about, where does this money come from?
Right.
I mean, it's not, but if your pharmaceutical sales includes the total cost of the drug, yet the residents are only paying a $13 copay,
Right.
whatever, that's why these numbers are so big. So I can see.
No, it's actually, that's a really good question. It's a lot of money, yeah. Okay, so back to page 15, that is our wonderful tax fund, and as you know, our road work is being handled from that fund this year. We tend to do every other year, we'll take the marginal tax money and use it on roads. This year we have a project that is just about finished. We still owe about $103,000 or so on the work that's been done. But you can see we have total assets in there of $740,000. So we are in good shape in that fund. That'll build for the next couple of years and release it again in probably 2 years towards forward. And then we'll flip forward to the water sewer fund. That's page 21. And the net current assets are about $1 million, almost about $1.7 million. If you look at the budget to actual, revenue looks a little bit light, but revenue, we bill every 2 months for revenue. So right now there's just, there's just the collection in there is for 2 months and not 3. It's a little bit lower than expected. It's at $62,000 versus $65,000, so that's about $5,000. that is not of any concern at this point yet either. So we'll keep an eye on that during the year, because we do tend to follow the down the revenues as the year goes on. Page 27, that's our new infrastructure fund. Well, it's not new anymore, I keep saying that, but it was put in place last year. Actually, May 1st, it was put in place. We've got about $279,000 in that fund. Each year, the board will make a decision how much to put in that fund each year. So I'll come back to it sometime in the, when we're doing our plan for budgeting for next year, we'll talk about that. Okay, I think that's all I have until talking about the warrants. Any questions before?
Can I make a comment for Brenda? The reason the strip out is because they should report the income, revenue, and expense, and those extraordinary items are usually in that bucket. We had wild fluctuations, so we decided to establish a fund so we can put money into it, and it doesn't cause the checkbook a little bit crazy. So it's just the acknowledgement that we're spending capital and we can see how that's being done. So
And
that's
you
it.
also, you'll hear the term fund balance quite a bit over budgeting process, and that helps to also manage that as well. That's a big term we use around here a lot. Okay, now to the exciting part, where we approve the warrants that are before you. So there's 3 or 4 on warrant A. The first one, just a small one for Cuba Township. And once again, I reported the warrants that are unusual in nature and a little bit higher in amount. So most of these I won't talk about. I don't even talk about the $15 bill to Amazon or so forth. But some of the larger ones that you might not see every month, I like to mention those, just to call those to your attention. Okay, so Cuba Township, a culvert replacement for $4,750. And then what we just spoke about it was approved by the board, the Lake Barrington Steakhouse for $20,000, and this is partial reimbursement under the for their economic development grant. There is a Bank of New York melon for $263,936.25, and that is the October principal and interest payment for the open space bond. That is twice a year we do that. Okay, warrant B, a couple to note here. I'm not sure if I'm going to say it correctly. Priscilla's painting, all right? And that's for $21,155, and that is for painting Village Hall and the crib, corn crib at Friar Farm. And then this is for the water sewer fund. So Dorner for $31,502.65. Now this was actually very good news because that was to replace 18 valves for filters at the water plant. We were told last year to budget $125,000 for that. So he sent us a whole long email as to why he overestimated and why it was wrong and whatever. Anyways, the good news is it's going in our direction, it's going in the direction of our favor. But it's a little bit concerning when we're doing these big water sewer studies and numbers are off by a little bit like that, but we'll keep an eye on that. Corrective asphalt, and that is in the infrastructure fund, and that's for $12,361.27, and that is for a reclamite application. That was also in the budget. It was budgeted for $25,000. We budgeted more square yards at a higher price. We get those numbers, 6 or 8 months ahead, from the engineers. Good news is they're coming in lower. I tend to think they probably are, budgeting a little bit higher just so they don't have to say, oh, I don't know, it's so expensive. Okay, so that's all I have. I'm happy to answer any questions about anything in the financials or the warrants.
Are there questions for the treasurer? Thank you, Peggy. If no, Chair would like a motion to approve in block. Item A, approve the financial statements as of July 31st, 2025. Pay bills in the amount of $408,370.87 as listed on the accounts payable warrant A dated September 2nd, 2025. And C, pay bills in the amount of $180,044.94 as listed on the accounts payable warrant B dated September 2nd, 2025. Do I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Hayes. And seconded by Trustee Perkins. Thank you. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Brand?
Yes.
Trustee Hayes?
Yes.
Trustee Perkins?
Yes.
Trustee Shelby?
Yes.
Trustee Schalmoser?
Yes.
Trustee Van Ryn?
Yes.
Trustee Burke?
Yes, thank you very much. Now moving on to agenda item 9, Administrator's Report. Sharon, are you still with us there?
I'm still with you, and I have nothing to report this evening, Your Honor.
Thank you. You sound Very clear and loud, so thank you for that.
That's a good thing.
Yes. We were worried we lost you for a minute.
Not at all.
You're good, thank you. Agenda item 10. So trustee Hayes just ceremoniously handed Mr. McHugh's check.
Unceremonious.
Well, I'm just trying to embellish it a little bit. Where was it? Oh, item 10, clerk's report.
Thank
Rebecca.
you. So I have my clerk training that was up for consent agenda, which is October 4th through 10th, so I will not be at the board meeting on October 7th. So I will see you guys in November, and let's hope I'll see you before then, but I will be sending the agenda on Thursday, October 2nd. Normally goes out on Friday, but because Sharon's gone and the warrant stuff on Saturday, timing-wise, it's a bit easier for me to get it out Thursday, so you can expect it in your email that day. And then just a reminder, if you have not already, do your yearly training for sexual harassment prevention and the fire extinguisher. I did receive a couple from everyone this week, so I appreciate that. I'm taking some of my planning commissioners on it and our ethics commission. So just trying to get all of that done yearly. And then reporting on, I know Sharon did send in the weekly update, the sworn listed tenants update, but it was good, all good news, so I've been reporting on it for a few months now, but as it goes, the process is a little bit long. But out of 37 building owners who were out of compliance with the sworn list of tenants, only one citation remains, which I really think is just an oversight because that owner did submit for their other building, so they just didn't do it for the one, so we're just waiting for that, which is wonderful news. In the future, we just hope the expectation is understood and that we can see a timely compliance with all of these owners. And again, we just want to let people know that we are not here to get anyone in trouble. We don't want their money. We just want compliance with the village code. It helps us greatly because, as it was said, we're finding a lot of new businesses that are in the village, so we might see some after the fact petitioners because of this, but we're just looking to clean everything up and make sure that everyone is up to the standard of what we expect here in Barrington. So that is all.
Thank you, and we do appreciate your efforts. I know it's a lot of work, and as we said, we're discovering a lot of interesting dynamics out there. That it's all good though, because we're learning from it and we're figuring out how to make sure we put the processes in place and not to be pests and not to be overly onerous, but just to ensure that our businesses are lawful and following our ordinances and making sure that they're safe and lawful for all of our residents as well. So thank you for your efforts and for that report. Any questions for the clerk? If no, let's move on to agenda item 11, which is reports of standing committees, starting out with branding and communications. Trustee Van Ryn.
Thank you, President Burke. Exciting times ahead. I don't want to take the thunder away from Trustee Perkins on what's happening in October. Before that, on Saturday, September 20th, is Pepper Road Fest. That runs from 11 to 3 p.m. More than 30 vendors will be participating this year, which is bigger than last year. And they will have food, fun, you name it. There will be live music, kids activities, food, refreshments for purchase, local shopping at unique boutiques, vintage and real resale shops, vendor booths, and so much more. So we encourage everyone to check out the Pepper Road Fest on September 20th, again from 11 to 3. It's free. Also that same day, All American Reclaim is hosting their Barn Fest, and the Barrington Countryside Fire District is hosting their open house all on the same day at that same time. So September 20th, 11 to 3, Pepper Road, be there. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Trustee Van Ryn? Now we'll move on to B, which is economic development, which is me for now. Let's going to talk a little about sales tax, and Treasurer Hirsch handled that very well. She continues to do an excellent job with her analysis. how do we start planning for this? And I think we're still taking a wait and see on this because it's also new to see how it's shaking out. But one of the things, once we think we can get our hands around that, we want to understand from a budgeting perspective, it's going to be tricky. Like, how do we start really thinking about these sales, this retail sales tax revenue? Because in the past, it's been a relatively stable thing for us to predict. And now with all the things that it puts and the takes, as it will, for use tax versus the at home versus the away from home, there's a lot of dynamics. I would say, so she does a great job. We're continuing to watch that. We don't want to count any money before we actually have it, or count on any future monies at this point. So as always, we'll be conservative with our approach to these numbers, but we'll continue to watch them closely. The other thing is that sometimes what gets lost in those numbers changing is that we do have good stability in our base businesses. So while we see increases in some of these variables, particularly online sales, we actually see really good stability in our at-home brick-and-mortar sales, things that are coming out of here. And that's certainly our goal. From an economic development standpoint, which Trustee Hayes will be taking responsibility for over the coming 30 days, I would like to remind people that we're not here to just attract new businesses. We're here to ensure that our current businesses are thriving and doing well, and thus that's a perfect segue into the sign grant monies that we've done, not just with you, but many, many businesses, including businesses right there in your retail center who have new lines that we participated in that. So we feel really good knowing that we've helped business owners increase their visibility and their signage and their traffic. And, you know, the truth is, when we talk about retail sales tax, then there's a payback with a lot of this. We want to grow these businesses, and in turn, as they grow, then our retail sales tax revenue grows and we pay ourselves back. So it's a capital outlay, as President Richardson, ex-President Richardson used to say, capital outlay for continuous income annuity. And so you invest today, and then you hope that investment pays out over time. And we're not afraid to do that. And we've been doing that now for years with our partners, and the majority of those pay out and they pay back, and we do get ourselves paid back. So, so that's great news that we're stable in that and hedging forward and growing in other areas. So that's my report on economic development. On external relations, I would just say, first I want to thank Trustee Brainerd for attending the BACOG meeting last month in my absence. She was given 3 hours notice to attend that meeting. Sharon was not feeling well that night, and I was out of town, and so Brenda got a text in which she responded within 30 seconds and said, "I'll be there, so thank you."
I was driving back from North County.
She was driving back from Door County. So thank you, and then she's graciously agreed to be the backup to me if I'm unavailable or Sharon's unavailable, so I appreciate you doing that. And by all accounts, it was a good learning opportunity to meet people and learn and see what's going on in the broader areas and see what a great organization it is, and how we talked about how BACOG makes all of us stronger and better, puts us all together and gives us a bigger voice, particularly when we need that voice for things that affect the region, not just our little village. So thank you. And those are my reports. So next we have item D, Finance, Human Resources, and Administration. Trustee Hayes.
Thank you, President Burke. Yeah, a few things. So I'll cover this first. So President Burke asked me to cover down at the Good Shepherd Community Cares, Caring Communities Forum. It's how do I put it? It's a kind of the state of the state for the hospital and how they serve the community we're in. And very interesting. We got some slide decks. I'm going to ask Sharon, I have asked Sharon after the meeting this week to send them to you. Very informative of what they're doing. They went through their current initiatives and the state of things in the community. They use their outreach team in these communities to gain insights of what the challenges are of the community from a health standpoint. And two things, and they do it over a period of a handful of years. So they do these studies: obesity They have a chart that's in the packet that shows obesity over the last 20 years. Amazing how obesity has just dominated. And that they relate to access to healthy foods and information, knowledge, how to eat properly. That's a core focus of them going to be going forward, makes sense. And then behavioral health. It's another piece with a subset of drug use. There's a change in how drugs are being used, although alcohol is still the number one. They talk about demographics of the service area that they have, so that's in the slide deck, very interesting. They talk about overall uninsured, about 7.7% of the population in their geographic region that they support has no health insurance, which is below Lake County, which is over 10, and lower than McHenry County, for example, by about a percent. But very insightful, so I really appreciate I got to go and learn about what they're doing to try and not get anybody to ever go to a hospital. In light of that, they talked about community care and screenings. I didn't know this, but we're more willing to show up in the community and take a Saturday or whatever and set up a center where they just do screenings for cholesterol and some basic stuff. I don't know if that's been done, but I just haven't been here a few years, but great service to the community, and then doing that as an education as part of their outreach efforts. So this slide deck kind of goes through it a lot, and I don't think I have time to go through it all, but I recommend you scan it because there's a lot of great information. I do want to highlight a couple things that I thought were very interesting to me personally. They have opened up a couple new things, prevention and wellness wing. They, new to the hospital, there is a bone health clinic related to osteoporosis for men and women that focuses on education, nutrition, exercise, fall risk prevention, but it's an aging population, we know that. And so, very interesting there. They also now have a cardiometabolic clinic that looks holistically at cardio health, not just the heart and exercise, but holistically. That's brand new. There's a really informative slide in there. And they've also stood up the Center for Health and Integrative Medicine there that's trying to look more holistic. And their message is, when you look at health, it's not doctors and hospitals, it's everything. It's exercise, it's food, it's mental well-being, it's stress management. They talked about the smart farm. You guys have heard about the smart farm. It was kind of the crawl, walk, run scenario. They're out of the crawl stage. The land they had a lot of soil condition issues, but they've kind of gotten through it. Now it's getting its legs. They've been feeding people on the south side of Chicago and all over the community that needs, and the whole message is, let's get good food to people. So they're really proud of that. They're intending to make it bigger. They're going to keep ramping it up, so very good to see that. And then they have a cancer prevention center and a high-risk breast focus for breast cancer that they've stood up there. They also are bringing care to 2 new locations, one in Lakemore and Hoffman Estates. And I'd say those are the key things that they highlighted in the meeting. There is also a lab there that used to be open for the middle schools, but the kids from COVID kind of shut that down. They're going to reinvigorate that. And they have this innovation lab where the high schools now are feeding into it to do it. I didn't get a chance to stay for the tour of that because they ran way over on time. And I had to do somewhere else, but I plan on going to see this innovation lab. One thing they asked us to do, they got their 50th Art in the Barn. We did start this in 1974. Honoring the past, embracing the future is going to be September 27th and 28th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's $5. It goes towards their foundation. And they'll celebrate 50 years of bringing fine arts to the community. You don't have to buy the art, they said, but just to go to see it and to be supported. And they're going to have over 175 exhibits exhibiting in art in all mediums. And it's a weekend of fun, art, and entertainment. Smart farm stand we'll have there. And then food and fun for the entire family. The benefit, proceeds benefit the hospital itself. So they asked us, so Rebecca's got a sign, it's right here for those watching online, but they're asking us to come out and learn about the hospital, support the event. Correspondingly, you mentioned the 20th is a busy day. So the evening of the 20th, there's a barn dance at the hospital that's going to support the Smart Farm. So it's a casual evening, you can sign up. It's from 6 to 11 p.m. at the hospital grounds there, but it's basically a barn dance. And I saw pictures the previous year, pretty cool. So that's there, Susie, I'll give you that information so we get to Rebecca and post that. And then prior to that, the 13th of September, and I did not know about this, but there's facioscopal humeral muscular dystrophy. They're having an event at the Citizens Park in Barrington for the Chicagoland FSHD Walk. I just pronounced that. It's a lot of word salad there, but it's going to be Saturday, September 10th at 10 a.m. And one of the ladies that's part of that organization was there, and I'll make sure I get this to you, Rebecca. But they're trying to get people to support this. It's a genetic form of muscular dystrophy that kind of affects the upper body. And I hadn't heard about it until I was there, but they're having an event on the 13th of September here in Barrington at 10 a.m. So that was the hospital visit. That was a lot. I really enjoyed going there. Next item I'd like to talk about is a consultant known as Arthur Murray Amps. Came to the village last week. We met with them. Peter didn't get this up. But they started looking at all the critical infrastructure. So they're in process. It's going to be a probably 6 to 8 week journey for them to gather information. So good kickoff meeting. What ties into that is we authorized the full proposal as a board, but we did authorize AMPS, Arthur Murray, to start on the LBS portion. Saturday, I'm meeting with the working session of the LBS board, generally there. They had questions out of the last working session meeting about the initiative. Fair enough, the 13 condo presidents, Ed knew about what we were doing, John did, but the others didn't know. So they go and tell them, why are we doing this? Why? And then seek concurrence, which would happen the following week at the regular meeting. So I'm doing that this Saturday to get it, because they have to be part of this planning, because they're over half the population. We can't leave that in isolation. And then on a personal note, that I want to bring this up because it's near and dear to my heart. There's a lot going on in this country related to crime and the National Guard. I'm going to speak about the National Guard. Your soldiers in uniform are not politicians. They support and defend the Constitution of the United States. And there are laws in the books that military orders know like the back of their hand, just like I did. And I've been watching this get politicized. The soldiers and the decisions politicized. That's not why they're there. Their sole thing is to follow legal orders, and they have a bound duty to not follow illegal ones. And I can rest assured those in uniform will do exactly that. And I say that because there's always politics around things, and that's fine. That's not the military's business, but it's kind of seeping in. Just know that your military is only concerned about according to the law, and they're going to stick to it. So no matter what you hear or what the public reads, and I'm saying this as a former commander of the Illinois National Guard, this is irritating me on the outside now, because I spent 35 years defending the country, and I never once ever considered politics in any decisions I made. That's true today. So I wanted to say this publicly, because I know it's being recorded for the village residents. Your military is going to do what's right. That's what they're there for. But don't rope them in your own mind into the politics of the moment. They're just doing what they're legally obligated to do if it's a legal order. It's that simple. So don't mix the two. And I've seen it. It's being mixed, and it shouldn't, because they've given their lives, and they're willing to give their lives to defend us, regardless of the politics. So I just wanted to say that, President Richardson, because I think it needs to be said. So thank you.
Thank you for that very comprehensive report. Working backwards, first of all, we're very fortunate to have your perspective, someone as close to it as someone who ran the Illinois National Guard for all those years. So to be able to provide that kind of objective feedback is helpful. It's helpful to all of us up here. It's helpful to the residents of those who see that. I've seen that you've been quoted a few times around local news on that position on that as well. And it's important they're talking to the right people who understand how these things work and to try to provide some fair and objective feedback on what's actually going on with the use of the Guard and our military out in our city. So thank you for that. working back, and also thanks for the report on Good Shepherd. Most of us now, we're maybe a little bit spoiled by the fact that they're right here in our backyard, and we may take them for granted, but they're an incredible organization, and led by an incredible team. Karen Lambert and company, was Karen part of that group? Very impressive, and she, speaking of friends of the community, we consider her a dear friend, and we consider the hospital a dear friend, and there's always been great close collaboration between us, so we're lucky to have a world-class facility in our backyard like that. And it's true what they say. I mean, they're so holistic in their approach, and they're pushing up and out into the communities and educating, not unlike our friends at the fire district. I mean, you'd rather teach people how to not have fires than put out fires. And people sometimes think that's a funny thing, but really it's about fire prevention. But we know things happen, and so we need you there, just like hospitals, emergencies happen, and we need them there. But if we can educate people, and we have fewer fires, or we have fewer illnesses, that's the goal. And it's nice to see that that's their goal, and that they're working really hard within our community. So thank you for that. Thanks for that report. Any questions for Trustee Hayes on anything he's reported?
If I could interject something about Good Shepherd. First off, the Smart Farm, I have to put a plug in for it because I'm the girl who waters there every weekend. So that's why they're actually still growing. But there's a great farm stand every Friday. It's open there, and you can go in and get incredible vegetables. One of the things that they are doing is they're giving their patients who have different health issues a punch card, and they get free vegetables, and then that way they're tracking if the actual vegetables that they're eating is having an impact on their overall test results. Also, in terms of Art in the Barn, this is our 50th year. I am on the board of it. I'm in charge of entertainment. We have 10 groups that are coming who are literally giving their time to perform because they so believe in Art in the Barn, because all of the money we raise goes to healthcare scholarships. That's something that's really important to know. We have raised over $7 million doing that, and it's all going back into the community, so we're pretty proud of that. Thank you, President.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I knew that you did.
Other comments? Thank you very much. Next item on here is 11E, Roads and Infrastructure. Trustee Shaw.
Thank you, President Burke. We've completed this year's road project. Winter trails, we laid reclamite on August 15th. A little bit of delay because of weather. I have to say that while this project this year was relatively smaller than most years, it was very well executed. I'd like to recognize Sheriff Peterson for that over communication to the residents. Everyone was warned, no complaints, everyone was happy. And I think that's a good template for communicate. And at Walt Hamilton, they're finishing up their 5-year road assessment for us. Payment for that should be sent to us within the next several days. And nothing else to report.
Thank you. Questions for Trustee Shaw? Now, we'll move on to 11, Public Safety. Trustee Shaw.
Thank you, President Burke. Since we're on a roll here, I'll hold off the lieutenant for a moment because we have a guest with us this evening, and we're speaking about the Wakanda Fire Department. They take an awful lot of people to Good Shepherd Hospital on a regular basis. And incidentally, come on up, Lieutenant Joe Studer has joined us this evening. He's acting battalion chief of the department. But one additional tie-in with the Good Shepherd Hospital is the former head of the Fire District Board, Bill Hogan, is at Good Shepherd Hospital and in charge of facilities. And he just retired from the board, so awful lot of local goings on. What's happening in Wakanda? Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. My name is Joe Studer. I'm a lieutenant with the Wakanda Fire Protection District. For anybody that doesn't know, we cover about 50 square miles, cover 9 different villages, including Lake Barrington and parts of unincorporated Lake McHenry County. We basically stretch all the way from Miller Road all the way north to the Fish at Beach campground on Route 12, and then from basically Fairfield Road headed back west all the way to the river. So anything in that kind of hot box there, that is us. What most recently happened, I guess I'll give you, since the first of the year here, we've had both Fire Chief Ted Kane and Deputy Chief Devin Mueller both retired after a long career in the fire district. Since then, we've hired Kurt Henselman, who is our chief, he came from Arlington Heights, so he is our new fire chief. We've also promoted Jason Dawn to deputy chief, and that triggered a string of promotions, Scott Schroeder to battalion chief, and then Chris Stevens to lieutenant. All these members have at least 10 years or more with the fire district full time, and in Jason's case, I think he's been there for about 30 years. So we've also recently purchased took delivery of a new tender. That's important because we cover half of your village, and the tender also runs automatic gate. So anywhere that we do not have fire hydrants, both in our fire district, the portions that we cover of Lake Barrington and also to Barrington Countryside District, our tender is due. So anytime there's a fire in that unfortunate event, our tender will be there, or our engine company obviously as well. We run a fair amount of ambulance calls for the village as well, and like was mentioned, we probably take about 70% of our total transports go to Good Shepherd Hospital. We have a very good partnership with them. In addition to a lot of the things that Good Shepherd does in our partnerships there, we've also got a community medicine program that we've piloted with some other Lake County Lake County fire departments. So basically, anybody we identify within our fire district that is a repeat patient and susceptible to hospitalization, falls, and things like that, our paramedics through grant funding will go out and actually visit their home, do a risk assessment with them, and try to help them out to keep them out of getting admitted back to the hospital. So that's one of those things, and that was all through the health department and through the county board that they established. So a lot of new changes. We're hiring a whole bunch of new people. We are going to be doing another new hire list very shortly. So anybody who's a firefighter, EMT, or firefighter paramedic, send them our way. We'd be happy to have them.
How many are members in the department?
So right now we currently have about 55 roster members. 50 of those will be full-time members. So we are trying to bolster our part-time program a little bit too. They just help fill little holes in vacancies and things like that, especially around vacation time and things for our full-time career members. But all of our career members, all 50 of us, are all licensed paramedics. So we are a all-hazardous fire department, and hazardous materials team for the county. We have a couple of guys who are tech rescue. We've got a dive team. So yeah, anything people need, we go. So.
3 stations, Wakanda being the number 1.
Correct.
Island Lake and then Bow.
Yes, sir. Yep, yeah, and then the Bow station as well. So we've got 2 companies running out of our station 1, right at 59 here, and then we've got jump companies, so 3 members that will take you to the engine or the ambulance, depending on what's needed from either the Bow station or the Island Lake station. Lucky for us, they seem very spread out, but we can get everywhere fairly quickly, and then we have great partnerships with both Barrington Countryside and then Lake Zurich. So if we happen to be busy and you see a Lake Zurich ambulance or a Barrington Countryside ambulance responding in an area that would normally be ours, that's not out of the norm, because we just do that reciprocal mutual aid all the time. So
Thank you very kindly. We're very fortunate to have the Wakanda Fire Department and Barrington Countryside protecting us on both sides.
Yes,
So thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks so much for what you guys do for us. We appreciate it.
And as I stole some of my thunder, because I was going to say the deputy chief and the battalion chief and the lieutenant all were given their new positions at the most recent district meeting. They have a nice ceremony up at the Wakanda station. I was happy to be there. And as I pointed out, I've been doing this so long that I think I'm on my 5th chief now in the department. And I sat with 3 of them for the ceremony. So neat department, as is the Barrington Countryside Fire Protection District. All I can add to them is what Trustee Van Ryan has indicated. They are having an open house in connection with the Pepperfest. And so it's a great opportunity to get up and close and personnel with departments. I know Wakanda is joining us a number of times too, so appreciate everything. Now is your time, Lieutenant Kerr. We put you on the spot, unfortunately, I put you on the spot last month about electric vehicles, which is maybe a question that the fire department can answer, how do you put out a fire electric vehicle, but did you do some research? Are you prepared since I sidelined it last month?
Well, not anything involving electric vehicles, whether it's scooters or bikes, that'd be there's state law on the books right now. And it would be up to the village if they want to update those laws with ordinances. So I know some villages are banning like scooters from like paths, forest reserve paths and stuff like that. But I mean, that would entirely be up to the board.
Yeah.
I spoke with the deputy that works the area on the way in, and he had just a few complaints over the past 6 months or so involving electric bikes or electric scooters. None of those were actually even in unincorporated areas like Barrington Harbor off of the Kelsey there. But it would be up to the board.
Yeah.
If you need any more information from me, I can certainly look into something for you. But I know like Gray's Lake just recently, they publicized that they're just looking to as strict enforcement with the laws that are already in the books, just beefing up their enforcement. Like as I stated, I don't know that it's been a problem unless you members of the board have heard something more, seen something more than what we are.
Any other activity going on in the Lake County these days other than your health? You sound like you're
No, nothing. I'm on temporary assignment on afternoon shift. So we'll see if that comes to an end or when that ends. There was a recent promotion, so I'm thinking that person might take this afternoon spot, but the orders have not come through. So
okay. Well, get well.
thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Any questions for Lieutenant? Thank you. And the lab report. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant, and thank you, Trustee Shelley, for that comprehensive report. Last but certainly never least, 11G Open Space and Special Eds, Trustee Perkins.
Thank you, President Bird. Of course, we've been mentioning all evening the Barrington Brews being sponsored by many. Our main sponsor is DB Menswear. Let's see. I'm just going to read. This is Rebecca's report. She's got all the numbers. This year the village has raised $5,050 in sponsorship. Last year we raised $1,500, and so that's a huge jump. Huge jump. Everybody wants a piece of the pie this year, you know. So we have really beefed things up. The Barrington is going to be amazing. We have a great band. Just tons of activities, and we're kind of doing a lot of the same activities, but we have kind of beefed them up and made them a little nicer, and it's going to be a little fancier. It's going to be a fancy bar. So as Rebecca mentioned, for activities, the band is in the sticks, and then we'll have food and beverages from the Kelsey Roadhouse, and then we'll have the canine demonstration, touch truck, we'll have an ice cream truck, another bonfire and s'mores, petting zoo, face painting, tattoos, bingo, bags, and lots of little kid games. So everyone come out. I will mention also, Rebecca and I would like to speak with you afterwards, but we also would like to offer, if anyone is interested in volunteering the day of, we would greatly appreciate it. We have, we're planning to go at 11 o'clock, so we would, Trace, I know you're always really wonderful help, Peter. So yes, if anyone can come out early, let us know, let either Rebecca or myself know. Come early at 11 o'clock, we just plan to be there for, maybe 2 hours, and then maybe just like a half hour before at 3:30. We do have our student volunteers this year as well, and they are always very, very good at what they do. So we're just really looking forward to it. It's kind of coming to a head now, and we just have to execute it at this point. Rebecca's been amazing. I mean, I don't know what this girl can't do. So kudos to you. Thanks, Rebecca. So everyone come out. I guess I didn't give you the date. The date is October 4th, Saturday, October 4th, from 4 to 8. Okay?
Is the band a Sticks tribute band? In the Sticks?
No, I don't think so. Didn't sound like it.
Awesome. Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I don't believe, I mean, it didn't sound like it. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I don't know.
Sticks.
You know, I saw Sticks, I'm like, wow, this is great. And I'm sure
Maybe they play some sticks, I don't know.
probably can.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, that's my.
Thank you, Trustee Perkins. I have two important questions for you. One is your husband Dave going to be leading the cornhole tournament again?
He will, I'm guessing, be in the cornhole.
Oh, but he's not
tournament.
going to be, okay, he wants to win.
He comes from 4 boys, and they're very
Yeah,
competitive.
okay.
And so, like, when they have, like, in our town in Iowa, they always have a bags tournament, and it's usually at least one of the 4, if not 2 of the 4 are in the first.
Okay, I get it.
But, no, yeah, so he will be there, yes.
So he wants to beat every little kid who's there, in other words.
No, he won't, I won't let him, I won't let him.
We appreciated what he did last year. The second thing, and this is just oddly struck me, I don't know where it came from, but where we had Kelsey Roadhouse positioned last year under the, by the pole barn, whatever you want to call the storage building. Do you recall that they had no light out there? And did we ever do anything like?
We put, Sharon, did we not get lights out on that end? Or
We did not last year, we realized it got so dark. It's a great reminder because I was looking into getting maybe like a generator with Cuba Township to see if they have like a generated light system. But we were definitely looking into lights because even the bags tournament, it was completely dark, so.
yeah, we're not earlier, are we? That's right.
It's going to be dark. Yeah, it's going to be dark. In particular, what I recall, and I kind of remember looking at the back side of that building, and it seemed as though there were light fixtures that were broken. So if we can get somebody to assess that and figure out, we still have time.
I can go up tomorrow and take a look at them. I don't recall that, but I can go and take a look.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but I kind of remember thinking there were fixtures that were just broken or not working, but that may be a simple fix, but I just know that corner, they were working.
Yeah, we talked about possibly renting something. I know Rebecca mentioned it just now as well, and we can definitely do that.
Yeah, they were working completely in the dark. It was very difficult.
Yes.
You're trying to work in the dark and take money in the dark.
Yeah,
I don't know where that came from, but it's
Dave just,
impossible.
I remember my husband happened to have one of those headlamps.
Right, they were using headlamps, they were using,
Yeah. What was
they were
it?
using their phones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyhow, thank you. I just wanted to remind us that we hadn't done anything we needed to do about. Okay. Thank you. That concludes the reports of standing committees. So next is old business. We have none. Ordinances, we have none. So the next item on here is a closed session, of which we do need tonight. Chair would like a motion to enter into closed session effective immediately to discuss closed session minutes pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2 C21 and/or to discuss matters of litigation which are pending in court or in an administrative tribunal pursuant to 5 ILCS 120-2 C11 and/or to discuss such litigation which is probable or imminent as to those matters so identified on the record in closed session for the reason therein stated pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2 C11 and/or to discuss matters of personnel pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2 C1 and/or possible discuss matters of land acquisition pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2 C5 and/or to discuss matters of security pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2 C8. Could I have a motion? Moved by trustee Schaller and seconded by trustee Van Ryn. Thank you. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Brainerd,
Here.
trustee Hayes,
Yes.
trustee Perkins,
Yes.
trustee Schaller,
Yes.
trustee Schaumoser,
Yes.
trustee Van Ryn,
Yes.
President Berg.
Yes, thank you. Good night, Lieutenant.